Prologue. Despair was the feeling everybody felt right now. Not only were they losing the Fourth Shinobi World War, but many of them had lost loved ones, sons, daughters, husbands, wives, etc. Naruto Uzumaki didn't know what to do. He had lost so many people already that there really didn't seem a way for them to win this war. Not to mention he had lost Sakura, Sasuke, Neji, Shizune, Kurenai, and Konohamaru to this war. Right now he was headed to their hideout in order to discuss plans and ways to win this war. "Alright Shikamaru, how do you think we can win this war?" asked Naruto. "Well, there seems to be only one way to be able to end this, but you are the only one who can do this, Naruto," replied Shikamaru. "What is this way, Shikamaru?" asked A. "Well, you know how the fourth Hokage's Hiraishin, Flying Thunder God technique, allowed him to teleport to where he had his sealed kunai. What if instead of teleporting Naruto to one of the kunais we have here to one of the ones Minato had in the past," stated Shikamaru. "Wait. Are you saying that Naruto will rip open a barrier in space and teleport to the past?" screamed Tsunade. "Won't Naruto-kun be hurt by this?" thought Hinata to herself. "So are you saying that I should go in the past and try to kill Madara and Kabuto before any of this madness begins to happen?" questioned Naruto. "Exactly, and we really have no choice in this. Either we do this or get trapped in the infinite Squyomi or get killed," calmly replied Shikamaru. "Fine then, let's do this, but before we do this I want to see what Kurama thinks about this," said Naruto. "Fine, but make it quick," answered Shikamaru. Naruto's Mindscape. Once Naruto entered his mindscape, he began to walk where the huge bars once stood. Kurama's face loomed on top of him. "So Kurama, what do you think about this plan? Will it work or not?" questioned Naruto. "Humph, what you puny humans are trying to do seems well enough impossible, but knowing you it probably will happen. But no one thing doing this might change some of the thing in the past. For example, instead of you being male you might be a female, or instead of Sasuke going to Orochimaru you might go. Do you understand what I'm implying here?" "It certainly is a risk, but it's a risk that we will have to take. Also, will I remember any of this?" asked Naruto. I really don't know about that, but just in case make a Kagebunshin shadow clone here and tell it to only focus on remembering your objective so you don't forget. No, Levi sense a white Zetsu army an hour away from here," said Kurama. "Thanks Kurama, and if I survive this I'll see you later," replied Naruto. Real world. "Sorry to make you wait guys, no let's hurry up, there is a white Zetsu army an hour away from here," advised Naruto. As everybody began to pack, Naruto couldn't help but continue to think about what would happen if this did work and what would happen if it didn't. Once they reached their destination, which was a cave about 50 kilometers away, they began to make preparations to begin. "Okay Naruto, this is how we're going to do it. First you begin to apply chakra to it like a normal Hiraishin. Then once you feel it begins to pull you, use the Kyuubi's chakra and tear a hole in space, and you will only have one chance to do this, so make it worth it," said Shikamaru. Naruto sat down cross-legged and entered tailed beast mode. After he entered it, he began to channel chakra into the kunai. After that, all everybody saw was a yellow flash and he was gone. "Do you think this will work, Shika?" asked Ino. "I really don't know, Ino, let's just hope it does," replied Shikamaru. With Naruto in a space tunnel. Naruto couldn't help but marvel at the speeds he was going. The Hiraishin could teleport him in an instant in the real world, but here in the space tunnel he wasn't moving really fast. It seemed as if this was another world. "Gotta focus on the mission though," thought Naruto. "Here I go." Using Kurama's chakra he pushed through the space tunnel and ripped through. Blackness was all he saw before he lost conscious. Kit, wake up Naruto. I got a killer headache, right Kurama, and you shouting inside my head isn't helping at all," Naruto told him. "Humph, right now isn't the time to argue Kit, we have to see where you landed and hopefully you land in one of the 5 great nations, and preferably in the land of fire," Kurama replied. "Well, you are right about that, now let's see." Kurama, I don't think this is either one." Naruto looked around and he saw darkness channeling chakra to his eyes. He saw that he was in a place that looked like a dark cavern. "Oh shit Kit. I think we made a wrong turn. This here is the land of darkness, home to the Black Moon Wolf," Kurama replied. "Wait a minute, Black Moon Wolf, WTF, are you talking about Kurama? Fine, let me tell, as it seems humanity has forgotten already." Flashback/story no jutsu. Many believe that the Sage of Six Paths created the moon. Well, that's half the truth. You see, Kami had already made the moon, but it didn't shine at night like it does now. After the Sophist P, short for the Sage of Six Paths, because it's annoying having to write that over and over again, defeated the Jubi, 10 Tails. He struck a deal with the Black Moon Wolf, The deal was by allowing him to seal the Jubi in the moon, the Black Moon Wolf would be able to walk in the earth again. The Black Moon Wolf was the only being in the world that possessed the Sharingan. He blessed the Uchiha clan by giving them the gift of the Sharingan. But after time, people began to control the Biju by using the Sharingan. But that wasn't enough. Humanity wanted more power, so using the Biju they attacked the Black Moon Wolf. I must admit that wolf was strong. He lasted 30 years in a battle against the entire human race and all 9 Biju. One of the reasons was his tremendous chakra. He had 50x more chakra than the Jubi. Another was his eyes. Using the left eye he could trap 70 ninja in the Tsukuyomi and keep it on them for 10 days. Using his right eye he could activate the first Susanoo, which was in the shape of a huge dark purple wolf. Finally he could shoot the Amaterasu out of his mouth. But after 30 years he realized that he couldn't continue fighting, so he split himself into 2 parts. The Yin half possessed the left eye Sharingan, and the Yang half possessed the right eye Sharingan. He sent his Yang half here in the land of darkness, and using his Yin half he freed the Biju from the mind control and gave the Uchiha the curse of hatred. The curse of hatred was a double-edged sword. When a loved one dies they are filled with hatred, and that hatred gives them power, but it slowly begins to lead them into the path of darkness, slowly killing them until they only become a shell of themselves. After doing that he sealed his Yin half into the moon, and that's why it changes stages from a new moon to a full moon. Flashback/story no Jutsu Kai. So no, we need to find a way to get the hell out of here, cause I sure don't want to meet this wolf, even though he sounds badass and all he might be hating on humans. Shit, I kinda sound like Bino. So, a little human decides to come into my realm? Ha 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 ha. I'll enjoy killing you, squirt. That is one huge motherfucker. Kurama, I think we are officially screwed, Naruto said. No shit, kid, replied Kurama. Yo, Mr. Moon Wolf, before you decide to eat us/me, let me tell you 2 things. 1. I really don't taste good, and 2. Can you please listen to my story before you decide to eat me? Pleaded Naruto. You got guts, pup? Fine, tell me your story for coming here and then I'll eat you, or maybe not, since humans taste awful, so I'll settle for burning you to a crisp. Humph, why do huge-tailed animals always call me a baby animal? First kit, no pup, troublesome, thought Naruto. In some random timeline, a certain someone sneezed. Well then, my name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, son of Minato Namikaze Yondaime Hokage and Kushina Uzumaki, Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko or Kyuubi no Kitsune. Before I came here my friends and I were fighting 2 Uchiha, one called Madara and the other called Obito. At this comment the beast snarled. Together we came up with a plan that was to teleport me using my father Kunai into the past to stop this shit before it happened, but apparently we made a wrong turn and ended up here. Well, your plan certainly was a stupid but not impossible plan. Tell you what, if you manage to destroy a part of my Susanoo, I will give you 5 gifts that will help you and some advice. And before you ask why I am helping you, it's cause I want revenge on the Uchiha. Deal? Now, Naruto, contrary to popular belief, wasn't stupid, he was pretty smart, so he decided to take the deal since refusing it would get him killed. Fine then, let's do this, Databeo, shouted Naruto. Magniko Sharingan. After he said that, his right Sharingan started to spin wildly and transform into a 3-pronged shuriken, but with hole in the bases of the shuriken and the tips were almost flame-like. Then he cried out Susanoo, and just like that a huge skeleton made up of purple chakra surrounded him. Kurama, right? Tailed beast mode. Right after Naruto was powered up by Kurama's chakra, a huge skeletal paw made its way downward toward him quick as a flash. Couldn't resist riding that. He dodged it and jumped upwards, and using his chakra hands started to create Raisengans, but he didn't stop there and kept on powering them up to make 2 Otama Raisengans. Big ball spiraling sphere, I think Raisengan means spiraling sphere or something like that, and slammed them on the top of the Susanoo, making it shudder and crack a little but not do much damage. Fuck, what do you think I should do, Kurama, thought Naruto. Well, try to do that new jutsu we are working on, but instead of 1 make 2. What, Kurama? Are you sure it's even safe, replied Naruto. Yes, now hurry up before the wolf turns you into bone meal. Ha 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 ha, this is very amusing. Uzumaki, are you giving up? If so, stay still so I can charcoal you, shouted BMW. No thanks. I'd like to stay the way I am, thank you, said Naruto. While dodging the strike, Naruto once again began to make Raisengans, but this time he began to apply Futon Chakra to it to create Futon. Raisin Shuriken, Wind Release. Spiraling Shuriken, but then he began to apply Katon Chakra, Fire Release, to create Katon. Raisin Shuriken, Fire Release. Spiraling Shuriken. Take this! Shouted Naruto and threw both jutsu at the Susanoo. The attacks hit him on top of the spine and head, creating to massive explosions. The Black Moon Wolf staggered somewhat and fell down. Even though the attack didn't destroy Susanoo, it did leave him with a massive headache. It seemed you are more fun than I thought, Uzumaki. No, it's my turn, and with that said, he opened his mouth and shouted Amaterasu. Kit dodge. I know, Kurama, you don't need to tell me the obvious, stated Naruto as the huge ball of black fire came at him. Fuck, how am I supposed to take him down? Raisin Shuriken doesn't do shit, neither does Otama Rasengan. Wait a minute, didn't my dad base his Rasengan on the most powerful Biju attack, the Baijidama? Tailed Beast Ball. Okay, Kurama, what to come out and play? Thought you'd never ask, Kit. After having said that, a huge golden Kurama appeared behind Naruto. So the little kid has come out to play Shut Up You Bitch. For those who don't know, bitch means a female dog or wolf. Okay, Kurama, here we go. Naruto began to create a Raisin Shuriken while Kurama began to create a Baijidama. Oh no, you don't, shouted the BMW and began to ran towards them. Tajukaga Bunshin no Jutsu, Mass Shadow Clone Technique, shouted Naruto and instructed his Kage Bunshins to attack the wolf with Otama Raisengans to slow him down. Right, come on guys, let's show this guy who's boss, shouted Naruto. Clone 1. Yeah, shouted the rest. While the BMW was being slowed down by a bunch of Otama Rasengan, Naruto told Kurama to shoot the Baijidama when the last clone dispelled. After the last Kage Bunshin dispelled, Kurama shot the Baijidama at the BMW. Boom! After the dust and debris settled, the BMW checked his Susanoo and saw that one more hit was all it took to finally break it. Humph! Little runt does know how to put a struggle to bad. I kinda was hoping for him to win. He seemed like a strong pup. Oh well, time to deep fry him. Don't underestimate me, you overgrown furball. And take this Otama Raisin Shuriken. Big ball spiraling shuriken. Fuck, I guess I spoke too soon. Breathing hard and almost out of chakra, Naruto could only help but hope that that managed to take him down. Cause if it didn't, he was in some deep shit. So pup, you did manage to break through my Susanoo. Well, I am a being of my world, and here are your 5 gifts. 1. I will help you get to your timeline safely. 2. I will seal myself in you, giving you the gift of the Sharingan and its Magnico form without having to worry about going blind. Plus, when I seal myself inside of you, you'll become lord over all K9, second only to me, and with Furball over there, you will also have the foxes at your disposal. Also, if in the timeline you are born with the Sharingan, I will make it more powerful. 3. As you know, passing through the space dimension is dangerous since a lot of weird shit can happen while doing it, so I will help protect you from the most harmful and try to bring the most beneficial changes to your body. 4. This gift will surprise you even more. When I seal myself into you, your body's chakra coils will expand so much that you will be able to have more than one Biju inside of you. For example, since you already have the Kyubi, you can only add the Ichibi, Nibi, and Sanbai, but no more. So basically, I can add 6 more tails of chakra before reaching my limit, meaning I will have in total 15 tails worth of chakra, not counting mine or yours. This actually seems like a pretty good deal, Kit. But what of the 5th gift, Black Moon Wolf? Call me Nightshade or Shadow, anyone if fine. Now, my 5th gift is a very special one. I, Nightshade, will give you my personal weapon, Dekusuru, Dark Soul. Dekusuru was forged in the heart of a dying star and cooled in the heart of a newborn star. Got the idea from Jaliner Thor's hammer, and has the ability to morph into any weapon you desire, from the shortest knife to the longest katana. The best thing is that it doesn't have a form, it is in the shape of a circular mass of darkness. Easy to summon to your hand at any time and morph easily. Another of its abilities is the ability to control darkness from physical darkness to spiritual darkness. Meaning if someone is evil and corrupt, Dekusuru can manipulate them and it can control the darkness element. But here is another thing: if the person isn't evil and corrupt, the Dekusuru can still control them, but not as strongly as it would a foul spirit. Thank you, Nightshade. I really don't know if I can thank you since you've helped me so much. Don't worry about it, pup. I've wanted to leave this place. Also, before I forget, when I seal myself into yourself, you will gain the ability to summon me or Kurama to fight by your side. Naruto couldn't believe it. He was finally going back to the world, and who knows what will happen after this. Steadying himself so Nightshade can seal himself. Strange marking appeared all over Naruto's body, and suddenly Nightshade jumped and was absorbed into Naruto's stomach. Immediately Naruto felt pain and doubled over, breathing heavily, seeing the seal in his stomach morph and change. Pup, can you hear me? I'm inside. No, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, Nightshade. No, let's go. Sure, pup, just wait for Dekusuru to appear. As if on cue, a band of darkness covered Naruto's hand. It suddenly began to hum and then stopped. Okay, pup, the humming you just heard was Dekusuru accepting you. I would recommend you will it to form into a wristband of metal scales covering your right arm, In this fanfic, Naruto will be able to use both hand, but his right is stronger. Naruto did just that. Okay, here we go. Inside of the space portal/tunnel. Naruto began to feel dizzy and his mind was spinning, but after a while he got used to it and saw that he was falling down a hole. Then he began to feel pain all over his body, was sweating a storm. Don't worry, Pup Kurama is healing your body from any unwanted intruders, and it seems the first change is hitting your body. Seems in this timeline you will be an Uchiha, and not any Uchiha but the grandson of Madara Uchiha. You should feel proud, Pup. With his genes your body will be superior than any other, especially the one that's coming. Wanna know what it is? Tell me already, Nightshade. Fine. It seems your mother was Madara's daughter and your father is still Minato Namikaze. But it appears that the Namikaze also are from the Senju clan. Just like the Uzumaki, they were proficient in Fuinjutsu and had a long lifespan, but they became almost extinct, and since the Uzumaki were better known, everybody forgot about the Namikaze. Why do you think Minato was so good at sealing? Anyways, Kit, you are one lucky son of a bitch. Why is it, Kurama? Because your body is now capable of awakening the Rinnegan. What? Damn, that really is badass, Kurama. It seems that my goal will be if only a bit easier. Naruto, Kurama, prepare yourselves, we are reaching the world. After Nightshade said that, Naruto once again saw darkness. Chapter 1. Conflicts, Jealousy, and Love. Ashiru was in love, at least that's what she thought she was in. Today was the day her sister Makoto and herself went to the ninja academy. Well, Makoto is her half-sister. When she was born, her father abandoned her family for unknown reasons. After that, her mom couldn't take it and left her with some clansmen and committed suicide. The family that took her in was a good and kind family. They loved her as one of their own and didn't reject or disliked her. Anyways, when she went to the academy, she was assigned the same class as Makoto and another of her friends, Kushina. Now, how do you explain Kushina? Well, the only way to explain her was as the hot-blooded red habanero. Since she didn't take shit from anybody, and if you insulted her, made fun of her red hair, or called her tomato, she would leave you with a beating you never would forget. She also had a tomboyish attitude and had an obsession with ramen. Yup, you would normally find her at the Ichiraka ramen stand owned by Tucci. Well, we're getting off topic. Here is what happened that made Ashiru and two other girls blush and sent them to a state of euphoria. Flashback/story no jutsu Ashiru story style. Man, I am so excited. Today I'll begin to attend the academy and after that graduate and be a ninja and… Ashiru, Makoto. Wake up, you don't want to be late, do you? Shouted Mahara. Hi, Kasan, shouted both girls. After eating breakfast and getting ready, both girls exited their home and walked towards the academy. What do you think we'll be doing today at the academy, Makoto-chan? She asked her sister. Well, I doubt we'll be learning ninjutsu, genjutsu, or taijutsu anytime soon, Ashiru-chan. Hey, there's Kushina-chan. Kushina-chan over here, shouted Makoto. Come on, let's catch up to her, Makoto-chan, said Ashiru and began to run. Both girls ran to catch up to Kushina, but Ashiru accidentally crashed into someone. Ouch! Who did I crash into? When she turned around, she saw a drop-dead gorgeous blonde. Sorry, I wasn't looking where I was running, Gomenasai, Ashiru said. No, it's fine, don't worry about it. My name is Minato Namikaze, what's yours? Questioned the now identified Minato. Oh, my name is Ashiru Uchiha, replied Ashiru. Ashiru, what happened? Shouted Makoto, running toward her. Kushina right behind her. Oh, it's fine, Makoto, don't worry, replied Ashiru. Flashback/story no Jutsu Kai. Ever since that day, Ashiru and Minato became good friends. Ashiru introduced Minato to Makoto and Kushina and quickly befriended them. But let's just say that after a while, Ashiru and Minato became more than friends, much to the discomfort of Makoto and Kushina, because they too developed a crush on Minato, but sadly he never saw them as more than friends. Time skip. Minato is 18 and the girls are 17, Minato story style. Damn it, how do I tell her? Well, I better find her first and then work my way upwards, thought a troubled Minato. Once Minato found Ashiru at a barbecue restaurant, he decided just to be forward about it. Hey, Ashiru-chan, what are you doing? Asked Minato. Oh, nothing, Minato-kun. So what do you want to talk about? Replied Ashiru. Wah, how did you know I was going to ask you something, Ashiru-chan? Am I that easy to read? Asked a confused Minato. Yes, to me you are, now what is it? Said Ashiru. Minato stood up, walked over to where she was, bended down to his knees, and said 4 words that froze Ashiru's heart. Will you marry me? Oh. When Minato saw Ashiru, he immediately began to talk, until she said in a hushed tone, "Why would you want to marry me? I am the daughter of Madara Uchiha. You, on the other hand, you will be the Yondaime Hokage," said Ashiru. "I don't care. I love you with all my heart and want to live with you. Please don't reject me," replied Minato. "I would never reject you, Minato Koi. I love you," replied a happy and teary-eyed Ashiru. "I love you too," Ashiruheim replied a happy Minato. After their confessions to each other, they both got married. Although Makoto loved Minato, she decided to be happy for her sister and tried to hide her affections. Kushina, on the other hand, was distraught, but she tried to hide it too, but couldn't be in their company for a long while because she was too hurt. Time skip to Naruto's birth 1 year later, Makoto story style. When Makoto learned her sister is getting married to the man she had a crush on, she was, in one word, crushed. Couldn't resist. She never could imagine her own sister marrying the man she loved. No matter, she still attended to their wedding and congratulated them, saying she was happy for them. But it was different at her house. There she cried herself to sleep. Now it is October 9th, walking down to the Hokage mansion to give her mission report. Once she got there, she was immediately hugged by ecstatic Ashiru and equally happy Minato. Makoto, the doctor said that I might give birth tomorrow or tonight," shouted a happy Ashiru. "Forgot to say this, but in this FNFIC Makoto will not be Sasuke's MOM. Fugaku married another woman. I am very happy for you, Ashiru, and for you to Hokage-sama," replied Makoto on the verge of tears, since once again she was reminded that she could not have Minato. "Oh, Minato-kun, that could have been my son. No matter, I must support Ashiru," thought a distraught Makoto. "Makoto, how many times do I have to tell you to call me Minato, not Hokage-sama, okay?" said Minato with a dashing smile, in both girls' opinion, leaving Makoto weak in the knees. Time skip to Naruto's birth Kushina story style. Once Kushina found out about the marriage, she was devastated. Minato was the only man she could ever love, and now he was gone. Taken. She knew she shouldn't be mean to Ashiru, since Ashiru had a crush on him too, was her best friend, and never rubbed it in. Besides, Minato chose Ashiru and she couldn't do anything about it. When they invited her to the wedding, she arrived but didn't stay there for long. After that, she began to take high-level missions to get rid of her pain, and after a while Ashiru told her to stop doing this to herself, since every time she arrived, she came very injured, but Kushina refused. Then when Minato took notice, he too began to talk to her, and she refused, saying that someone had to do it. Time skip night of October 10, still in Kushina story style. Kushina was returning to Konoha after a tiring mission, when suddenly a masked man appeared in front of her. "Kushina Uzumaki, give me the Kyuubi," he spoke in a demanding tone. Kushina's eyes widened when he mentioned the Kyuubi. Nobody knew of it, only the Sandaime, Makoto, Ashiru, Minato, and Mito Uzumaki, but she was dead already. "Never. And who are you?" The masked man gave no response and just ran towards her. Kushina knew she was in trouble. 1. She was low on chakra. 2. She was exhausted. Her body was on fight or flight mode until it chose flight. Running as fast as she could towards Konoha, she turned around and barely dodged a kunai. She flipped, went through in seals and said Suiton. Suidan no Jutsu, water style, water bullet technique, expelling a large bullet towards her opponent, but to her horror the water bullet passed right through her opponent. "Fuck. I guess I have to make a run for it and use some of his chakra to send a signal and give me a boost," Kushina thought. "Kyuubi! Chakra now!" she screamed at the Biju. Right after she said that, she felt his chakra run through her and expelled as much as she could, so the sensors at the village could see she needed help. Still using Kyuubi's chakra, she turned around to see a Sharingan turned on with it tomo spinning, making her dizzy until she passed out. "Now I have to make a clone to slow down Minato," the masked man thought. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, shadow clone technique. Adding extra chakra to make it last longer, he sent his Kage Bunshin to Minato's location. "Since I am too lazy to do it, we are skipping to where Minato is sealing the Kyuubi. By Naruto, I love you and I am so sorry we are leaving you all alone." "Sniff, forgive me, my son," cried Ashiru. When Minato defeated the Bunshin, he ran towards the Kyuubi, and with his wife's Sharingan managed to subdue the Kyuubi long enough to seal him into his firstborn. And that, my friends, is how Naruto came to life, grandson of Madara Uchiha, who was married to an Uzumaki, son of Minato Namikaze. So no, we are skipping towards the Uchiha massacre. Any other questions you might have I will answer in my and or I will PM you. Mikoto came tired from a B-ranked mission. After Minato and Ashiru died, Kushina went rouge, and no, Mikoto is all alone. Here is my mission report, Hokage-sama. May I go home? Mikoto asked the Sandame. Yes, about that, Mikoto. While you were away, Itachi Uchiha slaughtered all the Uchiha clan except little Sasuke-kun. What? Are you telling me the Uchiha clan is no more? Screamed Mikoto. Yes, that is what I am saying. Mikoto, I am sorry. Mikoto ran away crying. It wasn't fair. She had sacrificed so much in her life, Ashiru-chan. Her love for Minato-kun. Their deaths, Ashiru-chan's son, and Kushina, and no, she learns that her family is now dead. Chapter 2, meaning Naruto is in the world. Where am I, Nightshade? Well, pup, as of right now we are in Hi-no-Kuni, just outside the border of the village. Wait a minute, Nightshade, why the hell I transparent and ghostish, and where the hell is Kurama? Well, pup, since you do not exist in this world, your other self does. Kurama has returned to the Naruto of this dimension. Okay, now, how do I become one with Naruto too? Glad you asked, pup. First we will need to find N2, then you will grab him and join with him, meaning your souls will become one, and if he wants your memories he will have to be sealed in the very back of his head. Why are they behind a seal, Nightshade? Asked a confused Naruto. Well, pup, him having all your memories will probably let him know what will happen in the future, and that will cause an imbalance in the universe. But how will that happen, Nightshade? I mean, like, aren't people already able to see in the future? Inquired Naruto. Ha 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 ha. Did you really think that you puny humans would be able to see the future? What they do are just logical guesses based on omens. After that, Naruto stayed silent. As Naruto, floated toward the village, he began to notice how peaceful it was and decided that he would protect the village. Little did he know that when you join souls somebody, the person remembers your goal, which in this case would be to bring peace, and does anything to fulfill that goal, the intruding soul would die, and that any being that is inside of you, in this case would be Nightshade, would forget about you and be sent to the other's body. After much finding, they managed to find Naruto 2, who is 5 years old right now. Naruto 2 lived a life the same as Naruto did, just a little worse, since he still hadn't learned how to completely avoid being caught. Stealing his resolve, Naruto managed to guide Naruto 2 to his apartment and decided to merge souls at night when Naruto 2 would be sleeping, making the process easier. Nighttime, 10:00 p.m. Okay, Nightshade, it is time. Yes, it is Naruto now. Before we start, touch the head of Naruto 2 in the head, so we can have some basic knowledge of this world. Remember, not even Nightshade knows what will happen. Oh, you're right, let's do this. As Naruto touched Naruto 2's head, he found out some much needed information. So it seems that this brat is still called Naruto Uzumaki, probably because of his grandmother, since she was an Uzumaki, and you can't call him an Uchiha without angering the clan, and Namikaze without making him a target of his father's enemies. Smart move indeed. Let's see what else is here. It seems the Uchiha massacre happened already. Oh well, too bad. The wolf inside Naruto's head was dancing, and the only survivors are Sasuke Uchiha, Mikoto Uchiha. This pup is also a prankster. Well, other than that, the stuff is still the same as always. You ready, pup? Yeah, I am ready, Nightshade, let's do this. Databeo. As Naruto touched his mini-clone's head, he was suddenly sucked into a vortex. What's happening, thought Naruto fearfully. Konoha, night time, 12:00, unknown location. So Danzo-sama, how do you plan to bring the Kyuubi to us? Asked a root soldier called Natashi. Simple, all I need to do is gain his trust. And the first thing I am going to do is gain his trust. Do you know how? No, sir, I do not, replied Natashi. I will tell him the only thing Sarutobi has kept from him. His parentage, said Danzo. Konoha, daytime, 8 a.m., Naruto's apartment. HMPH. That was a good night of sleep, but I feel weird somehow, like the need to bring peace, wonder why, but no matter, I will bring peace no matter what, stated Naruto after waking up. As Naruto got cleaned up, he decided to see if he had any mail, although he never received any, but it was still good to check anyways. As he walked towards the door and opened it, he realized there was mail right there on the porch. Wondering if it was a trap, he decided to take his chances and open it. It read, Dear Naruto, I am Danzo. You probably never heard of me. It's okay, don't worry. Now the reason I have written this letter is to inform you who your parents are, since Hiruzen has kept this hidden from you. I have risked my life to tell you this, but don't fret, I will be fine. Let's start by your mother, since I think this revelation will be less sudden. Your mother's name was Ashiru Uchiha, the granddaughter of Madara Uchiha and an Uzumaki. She was a strong, beautiful woman who cared about you and loved you. She was treated as an outcast most of the time since she was the granddaughter of Madara Uchiha and people feared her and sometimes distrusted her. Sadly, she died during the Kyuubi attack protecting you. Now on to your father. Well, his name was Minato Namikaze as in the Yondaime Hokage, fourth fire shadow. He was the one who sealed the Kyuubi inside of you and made you a Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko, or the Kyuubi no Kitsune, they are the same thing, doesn't matter. Well, Naruto hoped this helped you, sayonara. Danzo. After he read the letter, Naruto couldn't believe it. His father was the Yondaime fucking Hokage and was the one who caused him all this misery, all this pain. And if that isn't enough, his own Hokage kept this from him. At this moment, Naruto knew he was alone in this world and nothing would change this. The only person he trusted kept secrets from him. And it seemed that this Danzo guy was the one who told him this because he wanted to. Naruto began to hate his Jiji, grandfather. He spat the name in disgust. He began to hate the Yondaime Hokage, his Tusan, father, and his mother. She knew of his pain. If what the letter said was true, she suffered the same as he did and probably understood his pain. All of these revelations were too much for Naruto and he passed out. Naruto's mindscape. Naruto woke up to a wet feeling. Looking around, he managed to see he was in a sewer but wondered what sewer looked like this. As he walked forward, he began to hear someone crying. Immediately, he began to find who was crying since he knew how horrible it felt to want to be comforted but have no one do it. He finally managed to find what he thought was the source of someone crying. He found himself face to face with a huge set of bars. Deciding to take his chances, he walked through them and saw who was crying. She is beautiful, thought Naruto when he saw her. She had crimson-colored hair and a nice body with an hourglass figure, nice smooth long legs, a slim waist, C-cup breasts just bordering D-cup, and ovalish-shaped face. Sorry if you still can't get a good idea, I really am not good at describing people. And air demons too. Also, she had pointy fox ears coming from her head with the tips being black and 9 long crimson tails with the tips being black also. Hello there, why are you crying? Asked Naruto warily. When she heard his voice, she immediately threw herself at him screaming. I'm so sorry, please forgive me, it wasn't my fault, they forced me to. Wanting to comfort her, he responded, Don't worry, I forgive you for whatever you are sorry for, but please tell me what has made you so sad. I hate it when I see people like this, he asked. Meanwhile, someone was watching from the background and thought, why would he forgive her? If she is the cause of all his pain and suffering, I must continue seeing this, he thought to himself. Well, I am the Kyuubi no Kitsune and the cause of all you misery, she replied sadly. Naruto just stood there in shock and replied, Oh, don't worry, I don't harbor any ill feelings towards you. Only to my father, who was the one who did this. Sealing you into me and causing all of this mess, replied Naruto. What? Was what both beings thought at the same moment. Kyuubi, because she still couldn't believe that this kid had forgiven her but hated his father, believing that he was the cause of his pain. The other unknown being thought that because the brat, pup. If you still don't know who this is, I am going to have you reread chapter 1. Who else calls Naruto pup? Hated his father and not the Kyuubi made him the perfect wielder for the Dekusuru. Since the pup has no ill intent to supernatural beings but still has a darkness inside of him. So, what's your name? Asked Naruto. When she heard this, Kyuubi blushed. She had forgotten to say her name. My name is Roxana. Her name just popped in my head, okay? Most of the names I am giving are just names that pooped in my head like Ashiru. I just liked the way it sounded and decided to use it, she replied. Oh, and what's the name of the being behind you? Impossible. There's no way he could have sensed me, thought the alarmed unknown. Cough. Huge-ass wolf. Cough. Being. If you are asking how I sensed you, I didn't. All I saw was your outline in the darkness, calmly replied Naruto. Well, pup, it seems you do have some ninja value. Even if it is a little bit, what do you say me and Roxana strike a deal with you? Asked the huge, now identified wolf. Before I do anything, first tell me your name, retorted Naruto. Humph. I like you, pup. My name is Nightshade, but in my clan they call me Kage, Shadow. Since I was the ultimate weapon, you puny humans decided to add my title to your rulers. I decided to add this since I really never knew why all the ninja leaders had Kage at the end of their titles: ex-Hokage, Kazekage, Mizukage, Reikage, and Tsuchikage. Anyways, pup, this is the deal. Me and Roxana will train you for 2 years in our respected realms, but to do this you must sign our summoning contracts. I will give you the K9 contract, It will allow you to summon wolves and coyotes. Wolves are mostly fighters either as frontline fighters or backup, while coyotes are more like messengers, while NarutoShippuden will give you the fox contract, allowing you to summon foxes to aid you in any way. Yes, I'll also give you Dekusuru Dark Soul. I have decided to add some more abilities to the sword. With the Dekusuru you will be able to control darkness, may it be physical or spiritual darkness. If it is spiritual you can take command over them. If the person is extremely evil they will be easier to control, albeit if the person is pure-hearted it will be harder to control them, but remember, if the person has a strong will and mind they will not be easy to control. The sword can also morph into any type of weapon or clothing. You can also summon beasts known as Nethermen. Got the idea from SL Endermen from Minecraft and Hellhounds. They will obey your every command. The last and final thing, if you find another sword or weapon you like, just touch the tip of it with Dekusuru and they will merge, meaning the Dekusuru can transform into that weapon and maintain its own properties. So what will you train me in your realms and what do I have to give in return? Asked Naruto. Well, Naruto-kun, both me and Nightshade will teach you our clan's fighting styles, which are Fox Fist and Wolf Fist. Fox Fist is more of you using your claws to swipe and slash at your opponent, while Wolf Fist focuses more on power behind their punches since wolves have high stamina. Their punches also quickly finish their opponents and or leave them severely injured. In return you will have to summon us from time to time so we can be outside too, and you will let us have control over your senses so we will be able to hear, smell, taste, touch and see what you do. That way we can warn you if something is about to happen. And don't worry, if you summon us we won't appear in our huge forms but in smaller bodies. And finally, please change the scenery around here. I really don't like the sewer. Fine then, I accept your offers and stay still while I change the scenery, replied Naruto. After he said that, Naruto began to will his mindscape to change into luscious woodland, the other 1/3 into a forest and the final 1/3 into a flatland with high grass and shrubbery. Thanks Naruto-kun, and you should probably check around the Uchiha district to see if you can find something relating to your mother and her grandfather. And to express her thanks she gave Naruto a big hug, smashing his face into her breasts, making Naruto blush and begin move his head so he could get out. But the rubbing motion began to get Roxana a little hot and decided to tease the boy. My Naruto-kun, never thought you'd be a pervert. She teased, making the poor read lucky bastard begin to sputter incoherently. It's okay Naruto, I was only teasing. Maybe when you are a little older. Okay, she replied. Naruto blushed and left his mindscape. Outside world. Pup, what is it? Nightshade. Forgot to tell you, but since you are the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Kitsune and have me inside of you, you are officially lord over all canines. Dogs, wolves, coyotes, and foxes. This might turn helpful, thought Naruto. So when can I begin my training with you? Asked/thought Naruto thoughtfully. Well Naruto-kun, you can train with me and learn Fox Fist once we get your body a little more conditioned, and you can train with the wolves once you can handle and become proficient with Fox Fist, pup. And you should probably head to the Uchiha district and scavenge around for more information concerning your mother, Naruto-kun. Yeah, you're right, replied Naruto. As Naruto walked through the streets of Konoha, he began to notice how many people hated him and wanted him dead. You may ask yourself, why does Naruto think they want him dead? Well, besides the beatings, curses, and blatant disrespect, it wouldn't take a genius to find out they want him dead. Naruto found himself wondering if his mother felt like this. Once he arrived at the district, he began to sneak through alleyways so people wouldn't be able to see him. Little did he know he had someone tailing him. ANBU Yugao Yuzuki POV. It was just a normal day for Yugao. She woke up, got dressed and ready, arrived at the ANBU HQ, received her mission or began to make her way towards Naruto's house and waited outside so she could try, keyword being try, to make sure he didn't get in any trouble and stayed safe. Most ANBU found this mission boring and annoying, mostly when Naruto pulled a prank and you had to chase him all through the village, but not Yugao. She actually enjoyed taking care of Naruto for 3 reasons. 1. It was a mostly easy job, compared to A or S-ranked missions ANBU mostly took. 2. It was amusing seeing Naruto escape, collect ammo, and pull a prank before anyone including the ANBU noticed. One of the pranks that surprised her is when he painted the entire Hokage monument in a bright orange jumpsuit, especially when the villagers saw what he did to the Yondaime Hokage's face. He painted fox ears, fox whiskers, and a foxy nose. The villagers almost killed him, and he almost gave the Sandaime a heart attack since he thought that Naruto already knew about the Kyuubi and his father. 3. She didn't hate him for being the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko. She knew that he wasn't the kunai but the scroll. She saw Naruto come out of his house and look in deep thought. That surprised her. She had never seen Naruto that way, Is he planning a prank, she thought to herself. She began to tail him stealthily, making sure he never even had a chance to see her. It seems he's walking towards the Uchiha district. I wonder why, she thought to herself. Back to normal POV. Pup, what is it, Nightshade? It seems we're being tailed. Try to shake him off, and if they continue, confront them. What? But what happens if we start to fight? Asked Naruto. Don't worry, Naruto-kun. I'll take temporary control of your body and start to fight the... Nobody harms my kit. Fine then, said Naruto dejectedly. He began to run/sprint, going through alleyways, taking sharp turns, mixing through the crowds, but it seemed he continued to be tailed. Has he noticed me, thought Yugao as she continued to weave through the crowd. If he has, I have to appraise his awareness skills. Still, it seems kind of sad he's this aware because of how the villagers treat him, she thought sadly. It seems whoever this is persistent. Pup, lead her to an abandoned alleyway to a dead end. I'll choose the abandoned alleyway. Last thing I need are some vengeful villagers, and I'm in a dead end. Okay, Naruto-kun, but be careful, okay? I don't want to lose my little fox kit, and I don't want you to die just yet, pup. Don't worry, I'll be careful, answered Naruto. Naruto began to jog towards an abandoned alleyway. Once he was sure he was alone, he turned around and shouted at the top of his lungs, I know you're there, come out already. Panting from screaming so loudly, he noticed someone come out of the shadows. From what he could see, he noticed she was a woman and had a cat mask on. Is she an ANBU? Thought Naruto. She had purple hair reaching her waist, black and gray NBU armor, and metal arm guards, and finally a katana strapped to her back. Who are you and why are you following me? Asked Naruto in a calm voice, since he knew from experience that when he would ask villagers this in a scared voice, they would begin to beat him. Yugao was pretty impressed that Naruto asked in a level-headed voice instead of rushing to attack. My name is Cat, and I am an ANBU assigned by Hokage-sama to protect you, responded Yugao/Cat. Well, you've done a good job so far, stated Naruto angrily and sarcastically. After those words escaped his lips, Yugao/Cat couldn't help but feel bad and ashamed by how by most I mean 99.98%, since only Ayam and Tuchi truly cared about him, of Konoha treated him, so she didn't reply. Now leave me alone. Everything I've done alone. No one has helped me, and your so-called job at protecting me must be easy money since you really haven't done anything, shouted Naruto angrily. And if you don't leave me alone, I will kill you, said Naruto in a demonic voice. After hearing this, Yugao/Cat began to worry for Naruto's mental state. Deciding to take him to Sandaime-sama would be the best option, she began to walk towards Naruto. When Naruto saw she began to walk forward, he immediately said, I'm warning you, if you come any closer, I will not hesitate to attack you. Seeing Yugao stop in mid-stride, he thought he had won, but after a while Yugao continued to walk forward confident in her ANBU skills. Roxana, Nightshade. She's not stopping, what should I do? Asked a very worried Naruto. Don't worry, Naruto-kun, me and Kage, Shadow, will handle this. Just give me the reins. Sit back and enjoy the show. Okay, thought Naruto. Immediately he began to feel a massive power surge and began to see red chakra coming of him. I won't give you a tail's worth of chakra since your body is too young to handle the strain. Okay, now let me take over. Fine then, here you go. When Yugao saw Naruto drop on all fours and red chakra oozing off of him, she knew she was in trouble. With a huge roar, Naruto jumped at Yugao and swiped his claw ate her. Thinking fast, Yugao took a kunai to block the hit, but when the claws connected to the kunai snapped in half like a stick. Shit. He's stronger, alright, thought Yugao. Taking another kunai, she began to channel chakra in it to make it more durable, since she couldn't keep on wasting kunai. When Naruto saw her distracted, he immediately ran to the left and tried to give her a powerful punch to the stomach. Once Yugao saw this happening, she immediately placed the kunai in a defensive position in an attempt to block with the kunai. But sadly, the punch broke the kunai and continued forward until finally reaching its target. Yugao suddenly saw herself flying through the air with a giant pain in the stomach and crashed into the nearest wall, knocking her unconscious. There we go, Kit. No, let's. Who knows how much attention we brought to ourselves during that fight. Internally nodding, Naruto ran as fast as he could towards the abandoned Uchiha district. Last time on Back in the Past. When Yugao saw Naruto drop on all fours and red chakra oozing off of him, she knew she was in trouble. With a huge roar, Naruto jumped at Yugao and swiped his claw ate her. Thinking fast, Yugao took a kunai to block the hit, but when the claws connected to the kunai snapped in half like a stick. Shit. He's stronger, alright, thought Yugao. Taking another kunai, she began to channel chakra in it to make it more durable, since she couldn't keep on wasting kunai. When Kyuubi/Naruto saw her distracted, he immediately ran to the left and tried to give her a powerful punch to the stomach. Once Yugao saw this happening, she immediately placed the kunai in a defensive position in an attempt to block with the kunai. But sadly, the punch broke the kunai and continued forward until finally reaching its target. Yugao suddenly saw herself flying through the air with a giant pain in the stomach and crashed into the nearest wall, knocking her unconscious. There we go, Kit. No, let's get out of here. Who knows how much attention we brought to ourselves during that fight. Internally nodding, Naruto ran as fast as he could towards the abandoned Uchiha district. As Naruto ran through the alleyways, he decided to ask Roxana a question. Roxana, was that the fox fist you were talking about earlier? No, it wasn't, Naruto-kun, that was just pure fighting. Well, why didn't you use it then? Asked Naruto. Well, your body hasn't been trained properly for my fighting style, she replied coolly. Oh, was the only thing Naruto could say. Once Naruto arrived at the Uchiha district, he immediately asked Nightshade to give him his sense of smell and Roxana her sense of hearing so he would be able to hear/smell any nearby threats, to which they both agreed. Half an hour later, Naruto, on the brim of exhaustion from running around, decided to rest in the house in front of him. Phew, am I tired? How long do I have to keep on searching, guys? I mean, like, I don't even know what are we looking for, said a tired Naruto while opening the door. Don't worry, Naruto-kun, we'll find something that's useful. We might even find some jutsu scrolls or something like that, answered Roxana. Yeah, the vixen here is making a good point, pup. Or if you want to, you could just leave and stay weak for most of your life, said Nightshade. Tsh. Fine then, I'll continue searching, but first let me rest here for a moment, retorted Naruto. That's the spirit, Naruto-kun, shouted Roxana. Naruto then plopped down onto a mat that was randomly there and soon saw himself falling and hitting a cold stone floor. Ugh. Looks like the mat covered a hidden entrance, but it's darker than black inside of here. Don't worry, pup, just channel chakra through your eyes and I'll lend my chakra so you can see in the dark. Replied Naruto. As Naruto began to channel chakra to his eyes, he noticed the cave/tunnel was man-made, but at the same time it also looked natural. Naruto decided to continue walking forward since there really was no point in using chakra to see if he didn't explore the cave somewhat. Meanwhile, with the Sandaime Hokage, Sandaime means third, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the man known as the Kami no Shinobi, was facing an adversary that was so strong that even Kages had difficulty tackling. And this adversary's name is Paperwork. And I bet a lot of you saw this coming. Suddenly the Sandaime looked around to see if anyone was nearby. Once he was sure nobody was close enough to see him, he took a little orange book out of his sleeve and began reading. He mush Ina so naughty and Kikoto never knew a woman could be so flexible, mumbled the perverse Hokage to himself while at the same time giggling perversely and having some blood come out of his nose. When the ANBU guarding the room saw this occur, they sweat dropped at the scene for two reasons. One, he looked around to see if anyone was near, knowing fully that there were ANBU guarding the room too. He was reading the latest Ika Dirty Little Secrets of Female Friends that almost caused two certain females in Konoha to leave Jiraiya on death's door. Suddenly 2 females, one in Konoha and the other somewhere else, sneezed. Hokage-sama! Hokage-sama! Yelled an ANBU before busting inside of the Hokage's office. Hearing this, Hiruzen immediately hid the little book inside of his robes. Yes, what is it, monkey? Asked the elderly Hokage. When me and my team were checking to see if everything was okay in the village, we noticed some strong and foul chakra coming behind an alley near the market district. We immediately set to it, and once we arrived there we found ANBU Cat inside a crater on the wall and unconscious with no sign of the attacker nearby. I sent 2 members of my team to try and locate the attacker and sent the final member to take Cat to the hospital, replied the exhausted ANBU. Is the QB escaping? I'll have to go check on Yugao later, but the real question is, why would Naruto attack her? But I can't tell them that it was Naruto who attacked her, since that would just make Naruto look even worse. I'm getting too old for this shit, thought the elderly Hokage. Continue with your search, and once Yugao awakens, inform me so that I can ask her for more details regarding the attack, ordered the Hokage. Hi, Hokage-sama, replied the ANBU and vanished in a swirl of leaves. Back to Naruto. Whoa, this night vision is pretty cool, Nightshade. I can see every single detail, said a surprised Naruto. Yeah, pup, my vision is one of the strongest in the world, and having night vision is just bonus, replied Nightshade in a prideful tone. Yeah, my vision is better, right? Naruto-kun, said Roxana in an all-too-sweet tone, promising pain if Naruto answered incorrectly. Fuck! How the hell do I get out of this argument? If I say nightshades is better, Roxana will be angry, and there is a saying that says hell hath no fury than a woman scorned, thought a desperate Naruto. Well, I'd say it's a tie, Roxana-chan, since nightshades lends me night vision and awesome perception, while yours also gives me night vision, but it also lets me see things in slow motion. When Roxana heard Naruto add the chan suffix to her name, she couldn't help but blush, since nobody had ever had the guts to call the mighty Kyuubi no Kitsune chan. Well, except one man, smart pup. He made Kyuubi stop thinking about whose vision is better and occupy her mind in something else. I got to admit, this pup has guts. Naruto kept on walking until he found the end of the tunnel and entered a circular cave. Inside the cave was an altar where a stone tablet lay that had nothing but gibberish on it. Naruto doesn't have the Sharingan, so he can't read it, and on the right there was a shelf with scrolls on it. Bingo! Said Naruto, Roxana, and Nightshade at the same time. So Naruto-kun, what are gonna do now? Rest or check the scrolls, said Roxana, teasingly, remembering Naruto's complaining about all this work and how he needed a break. I'll check the scrolls, thank you very much, replied a blushing Naruto. From what Naruto could see, there were many small scrolls, some medium ones, and a huge scroll. Naruto, after much thinking, chose to look at all the small ones. There were 13 scrolls in total, organized in 3 piles. Opening the first scroll, he read, it said, Katan. Goryuka no Jutsu. Fire Style. Great Dragon Technique. Class A. Details. This is the improved version of Katan. Karyunden, Fire Style. Fire Dragon Bullet. In simply put words, it sends a large dragon head at the user extremely hot and requires mastery of Katan. Karyunden before beginning to learn this technique. Wow was all Naruto could say. Even though he wanted to learn this technique, it seemed he needed to learn Katan. Karyunden first. You should open a blue scroll, pup. This one is red, which means Katan. I'm guessing the blue one means Suetun, and the light green one means Futon. Sure, Naruto chirped. Grabbing the nearest blue one, he read, Suetun. Suedan no Jutsu. Water Style. Water Bullet Technique. Class CB. Details. This technique requires mastery over water or a nearby water source to perform. It sends multiple bullets of water towards the opponent. The number can range from 3 to 15. Its successor technique is Suetun. Suigaden, Water Style. Water Fong Bullet. Wow, that's pretty cool. I wonder what the medium scrolls have written on them, though, said Naruto. Deciding to find out, he grabbed and opened the nearest scroll and opened it. Interceptor Fist. Clan, Uchiha. Requirements, 2 Tomo Sharingan. Details. The Interceptor Fist is a taijutsu style that relies on the Sharingan to see and intercept the enemies. Once mastered, it can be extremely effective against the Hyuga's gentle fist style. The scroll then began to describe and show how to learn the style. Nightshade, do you think I'll be able to activate the Sharingan? Asked a curious Naruto. Well, that's kind of hard to say, pup, but I'm guessing you will be able to, since I see no reason for you not to be able to. And if you do activate it, I'll be able to make your Sharingan better, since I was the one to give the Uchiha clan their precious Sharingan. Although the clan can be assholes, I don't hate the Sharingan. Anyways, about the part where I activate your Sharingan. Normally when an Uchiha activates their dojutsu, they have to go from 1 tomo to 2 tomo, then to 3 tomo. But if you manage to activate it, I will immediately level yours up to 2 tomo. So what does each stage represent? I mean, like, what is the difference between a 1 tomo Sharingan and 3 tomo Sharingan? Asked a curious Naruto. A 1 tomo Sharingan lets you copy hand signs. You can't copy jutsu, you can only copy hand signs. And record thing in your memory like a picture. It also lets you partially see in the future. A 2 tomo Sharingan lets you place minor genjutsu, copy any jutsu. What I mean by any jutsu is that it can copy taijutsu, genjutsu, or ninjutsu, and improves your seeing in the future, and you begin to see stuff in slow motion. Finally, a 3 tomo Sharingan lets you place any genjutsu. Your sight is improved and you can see low jonin speeds in slow motion. Anything you see can be burned in your mind for future reference. Oh wow, the Sharingan seems like a useful tool. Anyways, I want to see what's in this large scroll, said Naruto. Sure, Naruto-kun, but be careful, though I can feel that scroll excludes small amounts of power, warned Roxana. Nah. Don't worry about me, Roxana-chan, I'll be fine, reassured Naruto. Naruto grabbed the huge scroll and placed it on a nearby table, Opening, he came face to face with a bunch of scribble-scrabble and a large 3-tomo Sharingan in the middle that started to spin once Naruto looked at it. Naruto-kun, turn away now. It's a paralysis fuinjutsu that's draining a lot of your chakra. Naruto-kun. Sadly, for our blonde hero, he couldn't stop staring at the Sharingan in the middle and passed out on the ground. Back to the Hokage. Once again, we find our third Hokage doing paperwork and cursing at it every now and then. After a while, an ANBU came and told the Sandame that Yugao/Cat is beginning to awake. In the hospital Yugao's room. Hello Yugao-san, how has your day been? Asked Hiruzen in a friendly manner. I am fine, thank you Hokage-sama. I'm guessing this isn't a social call? Asked Yugao. I'm afraid it isn't Yugao-san. Can you please tell me what happened once again? Asked the Sandame. Well, to tell you the truth Hokage-sama, I can't really remember all the details, but here's what happened. After telling everything the elderly Hokage everything that happened and how she suspected that Naruto have met the Kyuubi or he was being influenced by it, since there was no way Naruto could have learned by himself how to draw its chakra. Thank you Yugao-san. I'll try to find Naruto-kun as fast as possible, assured Hiruzen. Thanks Hokage-sama, but I would like to ask a favor, asked Yugao. What is it? Questioned the Sandame in a curious tone. If the Kyuubi is escaping or influencing Naruto, please let me know. I've watched Naruto for some time now. Although I haven't been the best caretaker, I would at least try to be there for him, pleaded Yugao in a shaky voice almost reduced to tears. Please pardon the question, but why do you want to know, and why so much feeling for Naruto that as long as I know have never appeared before? Asked the Sandame, getting a little suspicious. When I fought Naruto and told him I was one of the people who watched over him, he looked at me with so much pain and anger that it made me realize how most of the people in Konoha would not be able to live a day of Naruto's life and how it was a miracle he hadn't begun to hate the villagers and take revenge on them. Stated Yugao. There is no need to worry about Naruto-kun hating the villagers Yugao-san. I've often talked to him that he should forgive the villagers and not harbor any hate towards them, and his revenge are some harmless pranks, but I suppose I could tell you, assured the Hokage. Thank you Hokage-sama, replied a grateful Yugao. Back with Naruto. For all you damn perverts out there, here's a little treat. Naruto awoke to the sounds of faint moans, grunts, some whimpers, and the sound of flesh hitting flesh. Where fucking am I? Asked a confused Naruto. Looking around, he saw he was in a small meadow with some trees in the distance. Nightshade. Roxana? Asked Naruto in his mind but didn't get any response. Listening closely, he once again heard some faint sounds in the forest. He also smelled sweat, something sweet/honeyish and something else, deciding to walk over there and see if someone was here. As Naruto got closer to the forest, the sounds got louder and louder. Knowing from past experiences that rushing in always brought trouble, he decided to sneak in. Seeing there was another small clearing up ahead, he came across a strange sight. There were two people there, male and female. The male had tan skin, brown hair and a ponytail and was totally naked. Naruto almost shrieked. The woman was very beautiful though. She had red hair in two messy buns on top of her head, pale creamy like skin, and was totally naked too. Both wore pleasurable expression as the man fucked her into oblivion. Ugh, faster, harder, to peer, shouted the woman. Man, you're as tight as the first time we did this, Mito-chan. Bless the Uzumaki longevity, replied the man. Suddenly Naruto was grabbed and pulled back by someone. Turning around to face him, he found himself face to face with a tall man with long black hair, one bang covering his eye, a humorous expression, and with old-fashioned samurai armor. So Gaki, did you enjoy the show? He asked. I dunno. The fuck are you? Asked Naruto. Well, young one, my name is Uchiha Madara, but do tell me, how did you get here? So Naruto began to explain what happened before he was suddenly brought here. So it seems that our experiment worked, although this child, he's hiding something. Those eyes don't look innocent at all, thought the newly identified Madara. And guess who the other two are? If you guess correctly, here are some imaginary bills, and buy yourself a Dr. Pepper copyright, or Dr. Pepper can't remember which one was it. Sorry for asking, but who were those two and what were they doing? Asked an innocent Naruto. At this, Madara began to chuckle weirdly with a small blush on his face. The man was my friend Senju Hashirama, while the woman was his wife Uzumaki Mito, he replied. Hearing Uzumaki made Naruto stand up straight. Now, I suppose you want to know where you are right? Questioned Madara. Yup. Well, this here is an experiment me and those two over there made. You see, we had an idea, why not make a dimension where we could train people? The only problem is that we didn't know how to make a dimension, how much chakra it would take and how to enter. Finally, after a lot of work, we managed to make a scroll that would paralyze, hypnotize, and finally bring the person's mind here. Using the Fuinjutsu that we knew, we managed to recreate a special Sharingan technique, and thus we brought you here. After you're done training, you'll be sent back, and your body will take some time to adjust, probably 3 to 7 hours depending how long you're here. Mata, oh. It seems the project we made actually worked. What's his name? Asked Hashirama. His name is Uzumaki Naruto, replied Madara, waiting for Mito's reaction. What? Are you telling me some Uzumaki actually managed to survive? Questioned Mito. It seems so, although you should check to see just in case. He could be an imposter, seeing as he does not have the traditional red hair and violet/purple eyes. And I really don't know if all Uzumaki have these type of eyes, but I wrote this since Karui, Tayuya, and Fuka have red hair, but they are not Uzumaki. Fine, replied Mito as she wove hand seals and placed them on top of his head. After 15 seconds passed, Mito began to tremble. After 20, she was absolutely furious. After 30 seconds passed, she looked like she wanted to kill someone. So Mito-chan, what happened? Asked Hashirama. Those damn bastards. They sealed the QB inside of Naruto-kun here, and have been treating him like shit all of his life. Oh, and Madara, it seems he is your grandson and a Namikaze too. She answered. WTF? Shouted Madara and Hashirama. Madara because he actually married Mito's cousin Fuso, and Hashirama because the Namikaze are still around. Kami-sama, I don't think anything can surprise now though, Hashirama. Oh, and it seems his body is actually capable of using Mokuton and the Sage mode you use, said Mito, all calm and shit. When Hashirama heard this, he passed out.